My original plan today was to do 5 photos in 5 minutes, and then I really thought about it and realized that I can ramble quite a bit when I'm discussing my images, and I probably cannot keep it down to 5 minutes. I think I'm gonna stick with the 5 image idea, but beyond that, I have no idea what we're gonna find, what we're gonna photograph. It's quite exciting, really. Right, let's see what we can find in this rather beautiful bit of forest. I just had this amazing dramatic sunlight come shining through, almost backlighting this fungi, and typically it's gone in. The sun's very in and out today. It's sort of a partly cloudy day, so I've got my fingers crossed that light comes back, but it really made the greens in this scene pop. I'm giving my subject here a bit of space, allowing some of the mossy forest floor to come through, not only to give a sense of location, but to also exaggerate the fact that this fungi is alone. It's not grouped with lots of others, it's not surrounded by lots of other fungi. It is flying solo. Because fungi blend in so well with the forest floor, I mean, this is absolutely tiny. It'd be very, very easy to overlook. I'm sure I've walked past this a couple of times before I spotted it. It gives me a sense of sort of introvertedness, I guess, the way it's hiding among the moss. We've got some sunlight coming through, but it's quite patchy and it's shifted a bit, so it's no longer on our subject, which is such a shame, but I guess we will do with what we have. Oh, that is so cool. I'm using the reversible tripod here. We are vertical. I keep meaning to get one of those bean bags for this type of photography, for these low angles, as I think sometimes that could be easier. Although with the tripod we are super stable unless I vigorously shake it, which would be silly. But for those who do this type of photography often, beanbag versus tripod, thoughts, opinions, should I get one? Is the tripod enough? Let me know what you think. I already know what I'm going to name this image before I've even taken it. I love how it looks as though this fungi is wearing this leaf like a cloak, and it reminds me of the invisibility cloak from Harry Potter, where you can't see it. From behind you would not guess that there was a fungi on the other side of this leaf. And so this is just such a magical and interesting shot to me, and if we can get a bit of sunlight coming down, hitting that leaf, making those browns really golden and vibrant, I think this could be a cracking shot. Now, I did not intend to photograph fungi today. It's just sort of happened. Now that I've spotted one, I am finding them all over the forest floor. And so I'm just going to roll with this and let it happen rather than force something else. And I have found and set up our third shot. This one is slightly higher up on this tree trunk, which is nice because it means that I can get an angle looking up at it, but also it means that I don't have to quite break my back as much taking this image. Get out of it! It's trying to get up my sleeve. Oh, these mosquitoes are really, really daring. It's trying to get in my clothing. No. There are 2 to 3 really, really tiny spiders underneath the cap moving around in this fungi. And although I'm on a tripod and I'm pretty stable and making sure that I'm not creating any unintentional camera shake, any camera movement, these spiders are moving this fungi very, very slightly. And when you're working with such a small subject and so close up, any camera movement is going to show. And so I'm going to say that typical photographer's phrase that we have all uttered: I hope this comes out well. Since taking that first image, more spiders have joined the cap party and they've actually shifted it. It's sort of tilting in a different angle now, and I would take another photo to show that, but there's so many of them in there now, I don't think I would get a shot or be able to focus that cleanly. There would just be like tiny spider legs absolutely everywhere. So that's enough of that. I think we're going to move on. Spiders kind of freak me out, I'm not going to lie. So I've come to the other side of this tree trunk because there are quite a few of them dotted around the base of it. And yes, we're taking another one, but I'm having a lot of fun doing this, so we are rolling with it. And that is what photography should be about. It should be really fun, and I'm definitely enjoying this, apart from all of the mosquitoes that are determined to make a meal of me today. Now, regardless of taking images of similar subject matter throughout this video, I don't think the compositions and the perspectives have been exactly the same each time. With each fungi, there's sort of a different feel or a different angle, something, you know, they're all very, very different, very unique, which I find quite interesting. And this, I really like this. This is a great moody, ethereal shot. This bright white cap, again, just stands out. It almost looks magical against these cool tones, these greens, sort of tucked away, where not a huge amount of light is reaching it. The stem on this is horizontal, jutting out of the tree trunk, and it's got a slight curve, almost as though the cap is then sort of reaching for light, which I quite like. And a 16:9 crop might complement that as well, that sort of horizontal line. But the past few times I've said that, I then get to the editing process and decide against a 16:9 crop. So it's just a suggestion. I will play with it, but whether or not I will agree later on is another thing. Right, well that's 4 out of 5. I think we can probably find a 5th one somewhere over here. I bet there's one somewhere. Hiding away. They're so, so tiny. So, so difficult to spot. And yet if you look close enough, you will find them. Here, blending in with all these leaves. Wow, that's so easy to miss. I quite like these two subjects together, this fungi and this leaf, and it's interesting because both of them look very worn out and aged and ripped. I've gone horizontal to begin with, but actually I think vertical might work better here, so we're going to test that out. Yes, I think vertical works better here because the fungi is going vertically up through the image, and so is the stem of that leaf. It's also sort of, I mean, it's got a bit of a curve in it, but it's also going up through the image as well. I'm going to tinker a bit more though, because I'm not quite happy with it, and I'm not sure why. Okay, I've decided on a square crop. We're going to cut off the top and the bottom and just keep it really, really simple. Get rid of any distracting elements. The sun's coming in and out, and I think if I have a bit of the background of these trees in front of me in there, we're just going to get sort of patchy bits of light, and I think it might be distracting. I just want to focus on these two friends here, this leaf and this fungi, who have matching colours, these brown earthy tones that feels very autumnal to me. I think this is really nice for our 5th shot, and again, slightly different, and I don't know if it's my favourite out of the 5. I think at the moment the invisibility cloak is my favourite. But I'd love to know which one is your favourite out of the 5 from today. And surprisingly, 5 images has been easier to do than I thought. All I had to do was just really just take a look at the forest floor, and you know, when you look, there's a lot there. There's a lot more than you think there is. Well, there we go, 5 photos, success. I am not going to apologise for my current fungi, mushroom, toadstool obsession. I am way on this train and we are riding it all the way through until the end of autumn, and I am unapologetic about it. Don't know what it is, the world of fungi is just incredibly interesting to me. Which I suppose is bizarre because I have never had a fascination with mushrooms before in my life. I don't cook with them, I can't eat them, they make me feel sick. But photographing them is just really enjoyable. Typically, after struggling with the lack of natural light in the second half of this video, the sun has come back out again and everything is nice and bright. So I am going to go and enjoy a forest walk before I go home. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next week. If editing Courtney is kind enough, she will pop a preview of next week's video in now. I get asked often about my cameras, specifically my 750 and my 850. Questions such as, what's the difference between them? Which one should I buy? Which one do you prefer using? And has the 750 been retired?